Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is dedicated to teaching data science with Python. And we are starting from scratch to learn Python. In this tutorial, we are going to be looking at Python loops and the Python enumerate function. Now, it's always important that we look at these things and explain the intuition behind them. For instance, the Python loop, as we've explained in our past tutorials, helps to iterate through elements in an iterable. Now, I've mentioned elements in an iterable, and an iterable could be a list, it could be a tuple, it could be a data structure that carries data. Now, and if you want to understand Python loop, it's a simple one. Just look at the video, just watch the video on a simple Python loop, and you get it. Then now we are going to also introduce the Python enumerate function, right? So the enumerate function is just like an iterable, but what it does is that it counts. It creates a sort of like a count when you are, trying to put a number to whatever it is you are doing. So with a loop, the enumerate is going to add a counter to the loop. So you see, every time we create a loop, you see that it feels like it is taking one step. It's iterating through one element inside a list and then other elements. So let's bring two of them together, a Python loop and a Python enumerate function. Right, so how do we put this into perspective? I'm going to create two perspectives here. So the first one is I'm going to create a string, and again, it's going to have my name, and my name is Pablo, and that's Pablo. So first thing I want to do is I want to write a for loop. So I'm going to say for, all right, for index basically, and then the letter. Then I say in, and so this is how we're going to basically make use of it. I'm just going to call the enumerate function here, and then I'm going to put the name inside, right? Of course, we're going to have a full colon, or rather colon, and then we can now print. And so you're going to see how the enumerate function works with the Python loop. So I use an F string here because, as usual, I would like to put things in perspective. So I put ind, which is our index, and I put a dash, and in here we're going to have the letters to my name. And so, yes, again, remember, documentation is important. So over here, a variable, what did I put? A B, a variable, excuse me for that. Then a variable with the value Pablo. Then, of course, this is the Python loop. This is the Python loop, right? And so we're going to print it out. And so you're going to see what it does here. The first letter starts off with a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 5. I have, my name has got, 5 letters inside of it. So this is the first one, right? So let's just take it a little bit up a notch. Now I'm just going to also create a list. So here I'm going to have a list. I'm going to call this name underscore lists. So in here, I'm still going to have names. So I'll start off with Pablo. Then I'm going to have Demilade. By the way, I'm just writing down all the data engineers, analytics engineers I know. So I'm just going to add them all to be into people in data. Then this is BK. Who else? We have Joy. Then we have Gideon. Right. Yeah. Any last person? Any last person I know? Oh, then there's Bolaji. Right. So now we have a list. So this basically is a list. Now, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to create a for loop with enumerate. Yeah, using the enumerate function. So here again, I'm going to go for end, which is the index. Okay, let's just make it index. Then name in, again, enumerate function. And then I'm going to have names underscore lists, right? Colon. And then, of course, we're going to have an indentation, which means our code block. So whatever is going to happen in there is where everything is going to be happening. So I print. So I use the f string formatter. That's what it is. But we don't call it string formatter. It's an f string right now, but old school string formatter type stuff. And it makes codes readable. Like, you want to understand about string formatting, check out the string formatting video in the introduction to Python playlist. Right. So here I'm going to write the data professional. Then with the data professional, I'm going to put up the index, right? So I'm going to put this. I'm going to put the index. Now I'm just going to make it cool. So I want to put it index, then I'm going to put +1 because there are more people to it. And I say the data professional is named. And then what I'm going to have is what we have here. Oops. What we have here as name. So that's basically what we have here. And then we have this column. So let's see what that looks like. So the data professional 1 is named Pablo. The data professional 2 is named Demilade, and so on and so forth. So this is basically how enumerate comes in handy. So you can use it. Again, just keep an eye on our Python and our data analysis use case channel. So I'm going to, as everything I create here, I'm going to have a use case for it. So that's basically what it is on this. We started off with Python for loops and the Python enumerate function. Of course, with a Python for loop here, you enumerate 2 iterables like lists, tuples, and all, right? The elements in them, and then the enumerate is like a counter. It's like a counter, so that's what it does, right? And so we took the first example, right? So let me put this here and call this the first example. Yes, the first example. Apologies, I love to document. Then we have our second example here. So we call this a second example. And with this second example, we're able to, put some kind of intuition to it. Right. So like, subscribe, share with your friends and everybody trying to learn Python for data science. Right.